Welcome to the Deep Dive channel, where we explore psychology with clarity and courage. Carl Jung once said, "The mother is the first world we know." Yet what he discovered about the mother archetype remains one of the most unsettling and misunderstood ideas in all of depth psychology. The mother in Jungian thought is not just your literal mother. She is an archetype, a universal image of the feminine that lives in the collective unconscious of humanity. She is both nurturing and devouring, comforting and suffocating, giver of life and bringer of death. To Jung, the mother archetype is the most powerful symbol in the human psyche because it represents both the source of creation and the fear of being consumed by it. Every human being, man or woman, is shaped by this force. Think of the first years of life. We come into the world utterly helpless. Our survival depends on one figure, the mother. She feeds, protects, and soothes. But she also holds terrifying power. Her absence feels like death, her disapproval like exile. Jung believed this early dependence imprints an image so deep that we spend the rest of our lives responding to it in our relationships, in our art, even in our spirituality. He wrote, "The mother is the first love and the first fear." This duality is what makes the archetype both sacred and dangerous. It explains why humanity has worshipped goddesses of creation and destruction like Isis, Kali, and Mary, and why the idea of the feminine evokes both adoration and anxiety. But Jung's insight went further. He realized that this archetype doesn't stay in childhood. It shapes every adult relationship. When a man falls in love, he often projects his inner image of the mother onto a woman. He doesn't see her as she is. He sees the emotional memory of nourishment, comfort, or abandonment. Similarly, many women carry the archetype within themselves, torn between the call to nurture and the fear of being consumed by others' needs. The result is a subtle but powerful tension in love, family, and even society itself. We crave the warmth of the maternal, yet we dread its power. Carl Jung noticed something remarkable in his patients. Behind every romantic ideal, every obsession, every deep resentment, there was always a hidden mother image. He called it the Great Mother Complex. In its light form, it makes people compassionate, gentle, and creative. In its dark form, it traps them in dependence, guilt, or rebellion. The Great Mother has two faces, the good mother and the terrible mother. The good mother nurtures, heals, gives life, and inspires creativity. The terrible mother devours, smothers, controls, and never lets go. Jung saw these not as two different women, but as two poles of the same psychic energy. When we idealize someone, a partner, a mentor, a celebrity, we are often unconsciously worshipping the good mother, the fantasy of unconditional love. But when we feel trapped or suffocated by someone's care, or terrified of disappointing them, we're facing the terrible mother, the side that fears our independence. In myth, she appears as Kali with her necklace of skulls, or as the witch who keeps you in her tower. In real life, she appears as the partner who loves you too much, the parent who can't let go, or the inner voice that says, "If you leave me, you'll die." Jung saw this dynamic as the hidden root of many adult struggles. Some spend their lives seeking the lost paradise of the good mother, chasing emotional safety in partners, religions, or ideologies. Others live in constant rebellion, fearing intimacy because it feels like being swallowed. Both are trapped in the same psychic orbit. They are not free adults, but children circling the mother archetype. But here's the uncomfortable truth Jung emphasized. We can't escape this force by rejecting it. What we repress becomes unconscious, and what is unconscious rules us. The only path forward is integration, learning to recognize when the mother image is speaking through us, and when we are truly acting from our own mature self. And that, Jung said, is one of the hardest psychological tasks of all. Jung believed that healing begins when we stop worshipping or fighting the mother image and start relating to it consciously. For men, that means recognizing the anima, the inner feminine, not as a fantasy of perfection, but as a bridge to emotion, intuition, and compassion. When a man ignores his anima, he becomes rigid, emotionally numb, and haunted by idealized women he can never truly know. When he projects her, he confuses love with possession, admiration with dependence. For women, the work is different but equally profound. They must face their inner mother archetype, the voice that says, "Be everything for everyone, or you are nothing." This is the shadow of nurture, the compulsion to care until you disappear. Jung wrote that a woman who cannot separate her identity from the mother archetype will suffocate her own growth and call it love. He didn't mean women should reject motherhood or care, far from it. He meant that true feminine strength arises when the woman owns the archetype instead of being owned by it. When a woman integrates the mother within, she becomes what Jung called the conscious feminine, creative, firm, nurturing without losing herself. She gives life without needing control, for men and women alike. Integrating the mother means confronting the parts of us that still seek unconditional love and learning to give it to ourselves. Jung called this process individuation, becoming whole. This inner work has outer consequences. When we stop projecting the mother, stop expecting partners to save us, soothe us, or complete us, relationships shift from dependency to dialogue. Compassion stops being a trap and becomes a choice. And perhaps that's what Jung meant when he said, "Only the paradox comes anywhere near to comprehending the fullness of life, because the mother is the ultimate paradox. She is both love and loss, creation and destruction, life and the grave, and maturity means holding both without running from either." Let's end with reflection and something practical. Jung's insight into the mother archetype isn't just theory, it's a mirror for modern life. We still live in a culture split between worshipping and fearing the feminine. We idealize mothers as saints, yet abandon them to exhaustion. We crave nurturing partners, yet mock sensitivity as weakness. We chase comfort, then resent it for making us soft. But integration begins with awareness. Ask yourself, do I seek from others what only inner care can provide? Do I mistake control for protection? Do I call dependency love? The next time you feel smothered or drained, instead of blaming or submitting, pause. Ask, which face of the mother am I meeting, and what does it want me to learn? In a world that fears vulnerability, reclaiming the sacred feminine in men and women alike is an act of revolution. It means letting the heart and intuition guide reason, not replace it. It means caring deeply without losing independence. It means standing firm in tenderness, because the feminine, as Jung taught, is not weakness, it is the womb of consciousness itself. To reconnect with it is to reconnect with life. If this episode helped you see yourself or others more clearly, subscribe, like, and share to help this message reach those who need it most. Every click helps spread educational and psychological content for a better future. This is the Deep Dive channel, where we explore the unseen, confront the uncomfortable, and grow from it. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep diving deep.